The head coach of our San Diego State Aztecs, Rocky Long. Coach, welcome back. He's on the Western Exterminator Hotline. How are you?
I'm all right. How about you guys?
I'm good, thanks.
Great.
You know, I'm sitting there and I'm telling this guy that we know. I said, man, I love talking to Coach Long. We went out there. I feel like we're on the same page because you understand it's not what we like, it's what you like about your team. And he sends me this message that there are D1 coaches that are just kind of casually saying, hey, there's rumblings that Rocky Long's going to retire. I appreciate you coming on. When you hear things like that, what's your response?
I don't know who started that nasty rumor, but you're about the fourth or fifth person that's asked me about that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know, in most cases, coaches after a year or so, someone starts a website to get them fired, and if it doesn't look like they're going to be fired, and then someone's got to start a rumor on how to get rid of them somehow. So I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
Coach, do you think that could be a recruiting technique to sit there and tell San Diego high school kids, you know what, don't look towards San Diego State. You don't know who the coach is going to be?
Well, it might be that, or it might be a couple old guys that were talking before a game one time and just talked about how hard it was on old people to be head coaches and just assumed that was going on.
So we can clear it up, Coach. You don't have any plans on going anywhere?
Well, I have plans on coaching for a very long time. I'm going to coach here until they tell me to leave.
Perfect.
Great.
Let me ask you about head coach versus defensive coordinator. What do you like the most about being the head guy, and what do you dislike the most?
Well, I don't know if you win, you know, it's pretty good being the head coach. You get paid a little bit more. Your contract's a little bit longer. You got a little better security. If you lose, it's terrible to be the head coach. The best thing about defensive coordinator, if you're an assistant coach and defensive coordinator, is you get to coach football all day long. You don't have to do anything else. You get to know the players really, really well that are on defense. You get to know your position players really, really well. You have an emotional tie to them. It's all interaction, and nobody bugs you. As a head coach, you got a million other things to do, and you don't get to do what you like about coaching very much.
You know, at the same time, Coach, we were talking a lot this week about, you know, the San Diego Chargers, and a lot of people looking to point fingers as far as the quarterback goes or the head coach. As a head coach, you aren't the one that's sitting there throwing the ball. You aren't the one that's taking the snap. And so when turnovers happen, and we all know when you turn the ball over, more than likely you're going to lose a football game. Is it fair for the head coach to get the blame on a game like that where there are a ton of turnovers?
I think whenever you lose a game, whoever's guilty, it goes through the entire team. I mean, if you don't play well, it's a coaching issue. And if you don't play well, it's a player issue. I mean, our players take personal responsibility for how they play, and coaches take personal responsibility on how they coach. And if things aren't successful, everybody has to take blame, and everybody should take blame. But I think everybody does their very, very best. Now, if you're talking about the Charger game, I've been in those situations before, and sometimes a turnover or two will change the momentum in the game, and it's like a tidal wave. There's no changing it once it starts.
Aztec head coach Rocky Long joins us. We're Dave and Jeff at San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. Coach, as you look at this team and this year where you stand today, man, there have been some highs. I mean, that Army game, we thought that game was going to be close. You guys rolled over Army, North Dakota. Then you lose to San Jose State. The Fresno State game was a complete shootout. And then you come back and you put together a couple of wins against Hawaii and Colorado State. For you personally, if you look at your team right now, what do you like the most, and what's giving you the biggest cause for concern?
Well, what I like the most is our team sticks together and plays hard no matter what the situation is. What I dislike the most is it's kind of what we thought going into the season. I thought we were going to be young in the offensive line, and the offensive line's probably played above our expectations. And the running, you know, the offense is doing well most of the time if we don't turn the ball over. And then defensive line was a concern going into the season, and it's turned out to be that way. We don't rush the passer very well with a four-man rush, and so that's put our secondary into a situation where if we're playing man coverage, we don't cover them that long. If we're playing zone, we're not getting enough heat that we can make plays in coverage, so we're not playing very good pass defense. The kicking game was a concern going into the season. It's turning out to get better and better as the season goes along, but we can improve in every aspect.
Coach, you're riding a 2-game win streak. You got a tough game on the road going against Nevada. Nevada's a team that you usually see in bowl games. What do you expect to see Saturday night?
Well, I agree with you. Nevada's a really, really good football team. They're excellent on offense. If you look at statistics, we're even there. They struggle a little bit on defense. If you look at statistics, we're even there. They're playing at home, and I've never been there for a game. They say they have a home field advantage, so they have a little advantage being the home team, but I think it'll be a great game.
Coach, can't thank you enough for the time. Like I said, sitting there Friday, trying to mind my own business, watch a little Major League Baseball playoffs. We're not trying to stir up any trouble, but you get that story, you go, it's interesting. A D1 coach. I mean, the credentials are there. But it's even better when the guy comes on and says, man, I'm not planning on going anywhere. We're glad you're here, Coach. We hope you're here for a long time, because that means you'll have to come on this show for a long time, which you didn't have to do as defensive coordinator. I know how to read between the lines, Rocky.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. If you find out who's starting that rumor, I've got a lot of friends. We can stop that at the